Skol Vikings, you purple-blooded warriors. Buckle up, because we're diving into some seismic news that could shake up the NFC North. The Green Bay Packers, our arch-rivals, just dropped a bombshell by releasing their star cornerback Jaire Alexander. Yeah, you heard that right. Jaire freaking Alexander is a free agent. Could this be the golden opportunity our Minnesota Vikings have been waiting for to bolster our secondary? This move is sending shockwaves through the NFL, and Vikings fans are buzzing with excitement and speculation. The Packers letting go of a two-time Pro Bowler? That's like throwing away a perfectly good cheese wheel. So, what does this mean for our Vikings as we gear up for the 2025 season? Let's unpack this blockbuster news and see if we can steal a star from Green Bay's grasp. Stick with me because we're about to break down why Jaire Alexander could be the missing piece to make our defense unstoppable. What do you think? Should the Vikings pounce on this chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get this Skol chant going. Let's set the stage, Vikings faithful. Our secondary has been a bit of a question mark heading into 2025. Sure, we've got playmakers like Byron Murphy Jr., who's a beast in the slot, but our outside corners, Mekhi Blackmon, Isaiah Rodgers, and Jeff Okudah, haven't quite locked down that elite CB1 role. Enter Jaire Alexander, a 28-year-old lockdown corner who's been a thorn in our side for years. When healthy, Alexander is a game-changer. Last season, despite playing only 7 games, he racked up 16 tackles, 2 interceptions, a fumble recovery, a defensive touchdown, and 7 passes defended. Those are the kind of numbers that make quarterbacks think twice before throwing his way. Imagine him lining up against the NFC's best receivers, Davante Adams, A.J. Brown, you name it, and shutting them down in purple and gold. But here's the kicker, Alexander's injury history. He's missed significant time over the last 2 seasons, playing just 34 of 68 possible games since his big extension with Green Bay in 2022. Is he worth the risk for our Vikings? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do we roll the dice on a star like Jaire? Now, let's talk about why this move is pure chaos for the Packers and a potential jackpot for us. The Green Bay Packers, our hated rivals, just cut ties with a guy who's been their defensive cornerstone since being drafted in 2018. Why? Reports say they tried to restructure his $84 million contract, but talks fell apart, and they didn't want to risk an injury in 2025. That's their loss and maybe our gain. Picture this. Jaire Alexander, scorned by Green Bay, signs with the Vikings and brings that fiery edge to our defense. He's got a chip on his shoulder, ready to prove the Packers made a massive mistake. And let's not forget the extra motivation. He'd face his old team twice a year. Oh, the drama. Vikings fans, can you imagine the Lambeau faithful watching Jaire pick off Jordan Love in a purple jersey? This isn't just a pipe dream. NFL analyst Trevor Sakima from Pro Football Focus named Minnesota as a top landing spot for Alexander. And Kay Adams on her Up and Adams show screamed, "Go to the Vikings. They need a corner." Oh. So, are we about to steal Green Bay's thunder? Let's dive deeper. Stay with me. Let's zoom out for a second and look at the NFC North landscape. Our division is a straight-up gauntlet, the best in the NFL. Last season, 3 of the 4 teams made the playoffs, with only the Bears missing out. But Chicago's loaded up this offseason, so 2025 is going to be a dogfight. The Vikings, with J.J. McCarthy taking the reins, are in a Super Bowl window, and our roster is stacked. But here's the deal. Our defense, while nasty, still needs that lockdown corner to take us to the next level. Guys like Justin Jefferson and T.J. Hawkinson have our offense humming, and our D-line is ferocious. But the secondary? It's the one spot where we're playing with fire. Jaire Alexander could be the spark that turns our defense from great to elite. What's the vibe in Vikings Nation? Do you think our GM, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, should make a bold move and sign Alexander? Or are we good with our current crew? Hit the comments and let's debate this, because this decision could define our 2025 season. Alright, let's talk about the man himself, Jaire Alexander. This guy's a baller, no question. A first-round pick in 2018, he earned Pro Bowl nods in 2020 and 2022, and was a second-team All-Pro in 2020. He's got that swagger, that edge, and the skills to match. When he's on the field, He's a quarterback's nightmare, with a knack for big plays and clutch moments. But there's a catch. Injuries have plagued him, limiting him to just 14 games over the last 2 seasons. That's a red flag, no doubt. Still, at 28, he's in his prime, and a change of scenery could be exactly what he needs to stay healthy and dominate. Plus, facing off against our own Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison in practice, that's gonna sharpen our receivers and Alexander alike. Vikings fans, what's the move here? Do we trust Alexander to stay healthy and bring that all-pro energy to Minnesota? Or is the injury risk too much for you? Drop your take in the comments. I'm dying to hear what you think. Let's get into the juicy part, the rivalry angle. Vikings versus Packers is more than just a game. It's a blood feud. From Brett Favre to Aaron Jones, we've seen Green Bay stars cross the border and don the purple. Now, Jaire Alexander could be next, and Packers fans are already sweating. Can you imagine their faces if he signs with us? Pure misery. Alexander's got history with our boy Justin Jefferson, too. They've had some heated battles, with JJ burning him for a touchdown in 2023. Bringing Jaire to Minnesota would not only bolster our defense but also stick it to Green Bay in the most satisfying way possible. It's like stealing their best weapon and turning it against them. So, Vikings Nation, how bad do you want to see Jaire in purple picking off passes at US Bank Stadium? Would this be the ultimate troll move against the Packers? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. Skol. Now, let's talk strategy. Our GM, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, has been a wizard, building one of the NFL's best rosters. But the Vikings have already spent big in free agency this offseason, so signing Alexander could be tricky. His last contract with Green Bay was a 4-year, $84 million deal, and while he might take a pay cut, he's still going to command serious cash. Here's where it gets interesting. Kwesi's all about calculated risks. He's turned red flags into green ones before, and Alexander could be his next masterpiece. A short-term, incentive-laden deal could minimize the risk while giving us a shot at a game-changing corner. Plus, with J.J. McCarthy stepping up as QB1, we need a defense that can keep us in games. What do you think, Vikings fans? Should Kwesi go all in and make a splash for Alexander, or play it safe and stick with our current corners? Hit the comments and let's break it down together. Let's paint a picture of what Jaire Alexander could do for our defense. Imagine him lining up opposite guys like CeeDee Lamb or Ja'Marr Chase, shutting down half the field. Our defensive coordinator, Brian Flores, loves aggressive, versatile players, and Alexander fits the bill perfectly. His feistiness and playmaking ability could elevate our entire secondary. And let's not forget the intangibles. Alexander's got that dog in him. He's not afraid to talk trash and back it up. That kind of attitude could light a fire under our defense, especially in big games against rivals like the Lions or Bears. Plus, with Aaron Jones already on our roster, Jaire would have a familiar face to help him settle in. Vikings Nation, can you see it? Jaire Alexander picking off a pass in crunch time, sealing a win for the Vikings? Or is the injury concern holding you back? Drop your predictions in the comments. I want to know what you're feeling. We can't ignore the other side of the coin. Some fans on X are skeptical, calling Alexander a potential locker room cancer, or pointing to his injury history as a deal-breaker, It's a fair concern. When you're building a Super Bowl contender, you don't want distractions or risks derailing the team. But let's be real, our Vikings have handled big personalities before. On the flip side, fans like @Dippin' Saucy on X are hyped, saying Alexander could push our receivers to new heights in practice and help develop young corners like Mekhi Blackmon. It's a high-risk, high-reward move, and the Vikings have the coaching staff to make it work. The question is, do we trust our culture to turn Jaire into a Viking for life? What's your take, Skol Nation? Is Jaire's upside worth the gamble? Or should we look elsewhere for secondary help? Let's get that comment section popping with your thoughts. Alright, Vikings fans, here's where we wrap it up. But not without some fire. The Jaire Alexander news is a game changer, and the next few days are going to be wild with rumors and speculation. Will the Vikings swoop in and sign this all-pro corner? Or will another team beat us to the punch? One thing's for sure. Minnesota's got a chance to make a statement and stick it to the Packers. As we head into the 2025 season, Our Vikings are poised for greatness, but the secondary is the final piece of the puzzle. Whether it's Jaire Alexander, a trade for someone like Jalen Ramsey, or sticking with our current squad, Kwesi and company have some big decisions to make. And you know we'll be here, breaking it all down for you, Vikings Nation. So, let's hear it. What's your prediction for Jaire Alexander? Should we sign him and make the Packers regret their decision? Smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more Vikings news, and share this with your fellow Skol fans. Let's keep the purple pride alive. Skol Vikings!